Good morning, everybody. I'm Eli JuggerKnot. It's VapeAM here on Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and today we are looking at the JuggerKnot Mini by QP Designs, a favorite here at Orbital Vaping Headquarters. It's VapeAM. We've got the JuggerKnot Mini today by QP Designs, the designers of the fantastic Cali RDA today. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great morning. I'm having a great morning. I want to thank everybody who's here live. This is a live show, and so we're here every Wednesday and every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. It is a morning show, and hi, Naki. Hi, me. I'm in there. Hey, Jason. James Rivera, JT Munn. And I saw JT Munn is talking about how he may miss the last half of the show here because he has to take a drive later on. You guys will say hi to Kayla and Brady and everybody else, and Vape and Michael B, good morning. Old Vape Guy Gary, good morning, good morning. Everybody, good morning. I hope you're having a nice day. Look what we're talking about today. It is QP Designs. Cali is our favorite RDA, and they have a little version of their dual coil RTA for single coils. And we're going to open this up, build it, talk all about it. You guys know that I love RTAs, and I especially love singles. And so we're going to talk all about this thing here in just a few very short minutes here. If you like these programs, make sure you click on like and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Like I said, we're here every Wednesday and Saturday. And I hope all of you are having a great day today. Let me just fix that camera a little bit. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like Naki says he's very hyper this morning. Good morning, TD Wester. He's there too. Hi, buddy. Hey, Naki. So you guys know very well that QP Design is a Canadian design company named after a fellow whose name is obviously PQ something. And you can tell by the signature drip tip that this guy comes with, which is so cool. I don't actually have his full name, but we'll find that out. And you'll get it on Discord. If you haven't joined us on Discord, make sure you click on the link in the description and join us. We're there every day, all day, pretty much. It's our private chat with the family. Orbital Vaping Headquarters is about helping people quitting smoking, understanding the technology of vaping, and getting to the actual truth of how things work in this kind of stuff and building a community. And so you guys know very well that the Cali is my favorite RDA by far. We've been using this thing ever since it came to us last January, maybe February, and every single thing that I compare it up against becomes second best immediately. And so they've really created an instant classic there. One of the things that they did was this year they made a couple of RTAs, and this one is the single coil version of their Juggernaut RTA, which is basically like a postless Cali down on the inside with a design that's kind of leak-proof with top air. This owes a lot to the OBS design, and it's kind of like if OBS and the Aromomizer Supreme sort of had a baby, because they sort of have the same kinds of ideas in them. The top airflow, isolation, and the chamber surround comes a little bit from the OBS top airflow type idea. And the Aromomizer Supreme has a lot to do with the way the chamber is designed in there and how the airflow and the juice flow works in the chamber. This is kind of a genius little thing, actually. I think it works great. And it isn't all roses and unicorns. It's got some cons I want to tell you guys about. But I'll do that all kind of at the end here. And here we're just going to open it, and we're going to build on it too as we go. And I'll show you what I've been using in it as I go. Mostly single coils out of Kanthal. So as you can see, it's got top airflow and a dual Cyclops that works on the top design. If we turn this, oh, I have to shut it completely here. And if we turn the airflow, it goes down. I didn't actually notice much of a change until we got to about right there, but that's magic flavorland for me. That's about where I loved it right there. Open that up just for S's and G's. It's a little bit tough to move, but I love that because it means that it doesn't adjust accidentally, which I absolutely love. To fill it, you pull up a la OBS and then fill in this porthole. I had kind of a heck of a time filling in this porthole, and that's maybe one of the cons we'll talk about. And the bottom is a gold-plated 510. Obviously not a squonker. I have number 2096, which is verified with my number 2096 authentication card here from QP Design in the box. And then you guys will see that the deck is surrounded by a tight chamber. And remember, I always tell you guys, if your atomizer comes wet, return it. Mine just came out of the ultrasonic, of course. Has nifty little holes. You see that airflow comes from the side and the top and the bottom. through this little return here, and juice flow is accomplished through these little holes on the side here, which correspond to these two guys. So this has a lot going for it right out of the gate. As you can see, it uses gravity to push the e-liquid down. The intake is on the very bottom, and it's thin and wide, which is my favorite kind. I think that's the best way to do it because you get the most use out of gravity for your equipment here. And then on the inside, the juice can only go inside here, but the air has been directed to come into the sides and down through the top, which is pretty cool. And one of the things that they've done here is in the kit, they've included a 510 adapter, which I love very much. I really had great flavor on this thing. It comes with a custom 510 that they call the Signature 510 with random colors on the top. Mine came in gray. I guess because I got the stainless steel, maybe that's related. Let me just pull that out of there. I like that it's not easy to get out. It has an O-ring on the inside of the cap, which I like. And there is our signature O-ring. I'm sorry, 810 that it comes with. This is a little bit too short for me. I instantly upgraded to something a little taller. That's just my own personal taste. And I found that e-liquid easily collected in the bottom of this guy right inside there, so I had to clean that out a little bit. It wasn't too much of a problem. Maybe every other tank or so, I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it that little wipe out. It comes with a TPD version, 2 mil glass, which is pretty cool. A little QP Designs rubber. And it also comes with a 4.5 mil bubble glass, which holds a little bit more e-liquid. It's kind of cool. The thing looks fantastic with both of them. I sort of love the science fiction look of the thing with the top and the bubble glass. And this is the actual device itself with the airflow. This rotates freely inside of here. And then as you can see, air is coming in through the top and the side, and juice is coming in there through the side. And all we have to do is grab this deck and stick it inside there. Let's do that, but let's build on this thing first. I want to show you some other things. Hey, Christopher Menace. Good morning. Hey, Tony Sandman. Good morning. It's great to see everybody. If you just tuned in, I'm Eli Juicy Jones, and today we're looking at the JuggerKnot Mini, QP Design's little smaller single coil version of their Juggernaut RTA, which is a very large dual coil hostless one, which I like a lot. This is the kit that it comes with, and it comes with an Allen key and a flathead screw, extra O-rings of every kind that you need, as well as extra post screws, which is cool. As you guys know, I don't like flatheads very much, and it comes with flatheads, but it also comes with, oh, I think I got the wrong size. There we go. It also comes with Allen screws, which I have right here. These are 1.25 millimeter. This is 1.27 millimeters, and that must be the size. Let me get this off of here, and I'll show you this deck up close. That's just the old coil that I had in there. The coil height for these coils is probably no bigger than 4 millimeters. I just want you guys to know. For those of you who love building singles or duals on your postless decks, that was my height that I came up with. I think I did these at 3.9 or something, or 3.8, and I'll show you the gauge that I use for this in just a second. I use one of these guys, and the size I wanted was about 3.8. There it is right there. So they're real short posts on this deck, and here's the deck. That's it. Let's focus up even a little bit closer just for fun. See what we can do here. I think I got it wrong, didn't I? Here we go. So, as you can see, the juice holes correspond to where you put 2 coils in this way, and one of the nice things about having both of your post screws on one side is that you get less distortion when you put new coils in. And I will put a new coil in there. One thing that I was so pleasantly surprised to find out is that this is the perfect size for these old TFE8 V8 RBA SMOC 8-core fused Claptons that are 0.3 that I've had sitting around for a long time. And they fit perfectly in here because they have 3.8 millimeter ends. So you see how those are coming in from the side, and the juice itself will only come in through here, and of course air is coming in through all over, and you vape and it comes out the top. It's pretty cool. Let's bend this thing down And I'll screw this onto the vape nut stand. And we'll put some coil on there, and then we will wick it with some juicy wicks like we do. Hello. So like I said, this is pretty cool because I barely need any tools for this. All you need is a coil. In my case, I've picked this 5-wrap 8-core, and you simply set it down inside there and screw it down. You guys know how I worship postless decks, and this is no exception. I've really made this easy to build. Oops. The only thing that makes this hard actually is trying to do it on camera to make it easy for you. When I'm doing it for myself, it's quite easy because I don't have to look. Or because I can look. Right now I can't really grab this and peer into it like I normally would. Like it looks like I keep missing the holes, and it's because it's just a viewpoint thing. So you'll notice when I screw it in, it only twists the coils the same way, instead of twisting them out of shape and having to make them go left and right, which is so nice. And look, those are some nicely spaced coils, instantly applied. We're already in. It's a 3mm coil, that might be 3.5. This thing likes big coils. Just keep your posts short. That's all you got to remember. And all we have to do is put the very smallest amount of cotton in here. This is one of those devices where you just need enough to plug up these sides and plug that hole. So I'm going to pick an amount. I'm going to move this back just a little bit, actually, just to give myself some room to work. Lol. I put my fingers in here while we're doing this. It's a fairly fat coil. And you don't have to put insane amounts of cotton in it. As you can see, it's going through pretty easily. But you want to make sure it's plugged. So we're going to cut one end just square off and take a look at it. And then this time I'm going to wet these coils. Look what I've got, by the way. I want to thank the folks at Van Gogh Vapes for always helping this channel and always sending enough e-liquid for us to test all these juices. I tell you, just like you, I couldn't afford to buy enough e-liquid to test all this crap and build and rebuild and build and rebuild and burn out coils and dump tanks out. Just for the case of finding out if they work or not. So thanks to those guys. And they sent me a new care package. Look what's in it this time. Some more of the Coffee Delights Italian style. As you guys know, this is tiramisu. Yum! This is going to be good for the morning. Oh, I need it. Oh my God, that smells so good. It's unbelievable. Oh, love that. If you guys go to VanGoVapes.com, use the code JuicyJonesHQ. They give you a discount. And it's good. Okay. I'm just putting some e-liquid inside this cotton. And I'm going to let it sit there for a second. I'm not really concerned about the mess right this second because we're building on the vape stand, and I'm just going to get this right to show you guys. One of the things that I had to do with this when I built it was I built it and then I put all the cotton in, I vaped on it, and then I had to open it up and trim it a little bit because it required a little bit of a volume reduction from where I originally started. So we're going to try to emulate that from the very beginning this time. I built this many times since then, but you know, nobody's perfect. I'm just like y'all. I'm good at this, but I'm not a superhuman being. Although I was laughing to myself a little earlier, just because, like anybody, I have imposter syndrome. I think that I'm no good at anything, and nothing that I do is worth anything. I think a lot of people probably feel that way. But y'all keep saying that that's not true, so I think that's great. And I also kind of giggle at myself sometimes because just when I start thinking that I'm no good, you know, I look at my desk and I've got 35 RTAs sitting here and I have opinions about every single one of them and specific ones too. So I think I'm probably deserve more credit than I give myself. And I suspect y'all are the same way, that you probably deserve more credit than you give yourselves. Ah, but what have we forgotten? We forgot to fire it. See what I mean about being imperfect? Lol. That's so funny. God, I do this every time. It's so funny because the most recent time was Jason, a couple of days ago, was asking me if I remember to fire my atomizer, and I said, no, you know me so well. You know me so well. Okay, here we go. I have a 21700 in here. Gonna take a quick reading. We're at 0.23, which is a little bit low. It ought to be about 0.27 to 0.3. So I'm going to screw it in real good and give it a few fires. And it'll either stay the same or move up a little bit. It's about 55 watts. Okay, good. What I'm going to do is just make sure it's even. Oh, well, it looks fine. I guess I didn't have to worry too much, did I? So we've succeeded. The coil looks fine. It's beautiful purple colors. Gosh, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? It looks like we have a little bit of a hot spot on the inside, on the bottom. Not too much I can do about that. And it's gone. Yep, that's beautiful. For spacious skies, for purple waves of grain. Look how gorgeous that coil looks. I'm going to try wetting them first and from now on. That looks amazing. Does anyone know where my phone is? I'll take a picture of that. But I don't have it. I think I put my phone in the other room. Oh no, here it is. I do this together for a little fun. That's how our show is. It's impromptu. That looks beautiful. Good job. There we go. Yeah, that looks nice. All right, so we'll just take another cotton swab. No problem. Suitable for 3 millimeters. Wind that up and get it in there. And we're going to batten it down on the ends there, and then we'll have to take a little bit out. As you can see, it doesn't want to come through part of it there. I just wound it wrong on the end is all. And it's fairly loose, as you see. Uh-huh. And then we'll cut these pretty short. We're going to end up cutting these actually probably a teeny bit shorter than this. And I'm going to e-liquid them up. First, just a little for the middle. Little middle. And I'm letting it make a mess. I'm not worried about that. Remember, on Juicy Jones HQ, you get one free mess. First one's on me. So that's pretty good. Not too shabby. Turn that down to maybe 35. Didn't need to be up at 50. First one's on me, baby. Okay, that's good. Now we're just going to try to get a little bit into the ends, and then we're going to trim them and stick them down inside there. Super easy. Hey, Josh West. How are you? Great to see you. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. And you're watching me building on the QP Designs Juggernaut Mini, RTA. This is a little bit of a tiny sequel to the Juggernaut, a larger dual or single coil RTA from QP Designs, our favorite Canadian company. There's a link to these. It's about $50 US as the time of this broadcast. And for those of you who are interested, there's a Canadian postal strike, but it only delayed my package maybe one day. I didn't pay for it. The folks at QP sent this. Thank you so much. They did spring for the extra premium shipping, so it's possible that will make it better. Okay, so here we go. There's our little piece of cotton. As you can see, I'm pulling it through. You really don't need a lot in there. You just need enough for the back of it to get to the bottom, not even the front. So it looks like we're pretty good there. I'm going to take my flat tool and start scooping this in there. You want to make sure it stays pretty well contoured and oriented. Because what we're doing here is we're creating a back of cotton. that will stop the e-liquid, and we're turning this channel into something about that big. This is our new juice channel right there. You see how I can just sort of get that through there and it's kind of easy? Now, if we have any more trouble than this, we're going to vape on this, do this on both sides and vape on this. And if that right there isn't enough, what you see there, then we're going to open this up and trim just the top of that right there. So the back of that is all full inside, and the front of it allows me to put this flat tool freely inside there. Just for your reference. And you see how much of this we pulled out for the other side, so we're going to chop some of this off. Being careful to keep all of this real well stranded. And it looks like I have a little too much right there, frankly, in my opinion. But I just took off 1 millimeter there. So that's roughly how anal I am. And then we're going to flat this in again. Somebody was asking what mod this is. It's an Inspire Puxos mod. Thank you so much, old vape guy Gary, for answering that question. That is true. And you see I'm pushing this in here flat to the back so that the cotton takes up all the back space, but it's flat back there. That way e-liquid that hops in will travel up that little channel, but most of the e-liquid that we need is going to come through this hole right here that you see here. That's your magic place. So my dental tool works well for this. As you can see, it's not tons of cotton for a 3.5 millimeter coil, especially because this machine is going to work. What's going to happen is when I put the lid on, the top of this is going to flood. But what we're looking at is a very good system where this is basically flat and the air tries not to come in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to dry this up just a tiny bit because it's going to gurgle because I've gotten liquid into the air hole, but that's going to be fine at first. We've basically got the bottom all tied up here. I'm going to take my bubble glass. Maybe I'll switch to my straight glass. No, the bubble glass looks more sci-fi. Great flavor on this tank. It's always easier to get the top on if the glass is up against the top. And then all you do is, it doesn't matter which side, you put this in there, it only goes in one way. Well, it'll go in two ways technically, but it only goes in one orientation, and then you screw it down. You won't have any problem with that. There's enough knurling on the bottom to get it off, even when it's not fully unscrewed, and that's cool. Let's just take another little paper towel and give this a quick wipe. Hey, Owen Ginter, good morning to you. JT is asking why do the wicking before you put it in, or why wet the cotton before you put it in, and the reason is because I can simulate exactly what it's going to be like inside that chamber. I mean, when you wet the cotton, that's exactly how it's going to be when you enter it in that chamber. So sometimes you reveal things to yourselves like, oh, I put too much cotton in, or I didn't put enough cotton in. That maybe might not be so obvious when it's wet. Also, Texas Tough is the kind of cotton that does not change significantly and absorbs a humongous amount of cotton and of liquid, and also has a very strong orientation to it with the channeling that goes on. And so I like to wet it beforehand because its own surface area can delay the amount of time it takes to fully saturate, and it's just its capacity. It holds a bunch. So now we're going to get to a little bit of the not so great side. And so I'm going to show you guys what happens when you fill this thing. And filling it is absolutely insane. Well, JT Mun is saying that if it's fluffy, it wicks better, but that's just not correct. Not in the case of this anyway. If you're using like that spongy cotton, maybe that's true, but this Texas Tough doesn't work that way. And you really have to get it going beforehand to make sure that you fully. That's why in these RTAs they're kind of technical. What I found is that if you're using that spongy cotton where it doesn't matter how you stuff it in there, then really it's just a matter of stuffing enough in there. But this is creating channels and backstops and stuff, and it really works perfectly too, as far as that goes. Oh, as far as that goes. But let's get to the con. This thing has great flavor. It's absolutely amazing. I have to get to one of the things I could not Oh, this is tough for me. Okay, so filling this thing is pretty tough. What you'll notice is if we put the thing in there, it has a fairly large hole. It's starting to fill up, but every single time when we get to a certain point, it starts coming out of the hole every time. And you can only do so much about that. Like you can start by filling this way. You can stuff it into the bottom there. You can use thinner e-liquid, but at some point it's going to pull this maneuver where the surface tension and the size of that hole is exactly wrong. And the only way to get it to fill up is by manually sloshing it around like crazy. So this is a con, and it drives me crazy. I've had different results with different bottles. All my e-liquid is about 70-30. And so you can go extremely slowly, like we're doing now. But it has a problem with air return when it comes to filling up. It takes a long time. Look, see, and there it goes again. And then we have to break the meniscus. I thought it might vary depending on whether we were using the straight glass or the bubble glass, but I had this problem in both modes, both times. I've never not had this problem, and I've sort of done a dance trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, about 60 different times. So it really is just an air return problem. Like, I think this, once I blow it out, will simply stop being a problem. There is their drip tip, which is pretty nice. I think it's a little bit too short. It has a little bit of a feeling of like the twisted messes and the metal on top. Where are we at? We're going to go back to about 70 watts. 60, 70. Come on, Puxos. There we go. This thing works beautifully. And you see, the first time I fill it, it always has that return. There we go. I tried every way from Sunday to figure out how to fill this thing more efficiently. And maybe if you know a trick, you let me know. A couple of the viewers have 2 or 3 of these, but I have that problem every way from Sunday, no matter what juice I'm at. And maybe my build is too big, I'm not sure. And the first time you fill it up, you'll have some e-liquid stuck in there because, like I said, first one's on me. And then from now on, I'm only going to have a little bit of trouble filling it up. Otherwise, the flavor on this thing is absolutely amazing. And it's fun to carry around. It looks good. I think that this thing still isn't quite my absolute favorite RTA. I absolutely love it. I love the size. I love the capacity. I love how easy it is to build. I kind of wish... My favorite still has to be the Aromomizer Supreme V2, but the Aromomizer Supreme V2 is kind of a pain to build. And as you guys saw, this thing is not a pain at all. It is so easy to build. And so I'm a little bit torn in two there. Casilla West says it's fun to carry around. Yeah, and the reason I say that is because I think it looks sci-fi. I love how it looks like a little science fiction tower. But is that silly? True, though. Maybe it is. Yum. So, I think when you're building it, if you're someone like JT Munn who builds it dry with fluffier cotton, you're not going to get any of that the spit back and the initial vape after you build, like I do, who saturates the cotton fully, which, whatever, it's neither here nor there. Thing holds enough, looks pretty good with the I appreciate the TPD glass that comes with it, so that's cool. People in the UK can buy these things too. And I just have got the greatest flavor on this thing. I mean, it's like I normally vape with everything extremely restricted. It is a restricted air atomizer as it is, so you'll notice that I'm vaping on it with it fully open. There isn't a huge difference in this until you get to about right there. And I have been keeping it there. It depends. I'm kind of moody. You guys know how I am. Hey, Michaela, good morning to you. Christopher Menace says it's very Doctor Who, almost Dalek looking. Yeah, and that's just sort of my thing. I mean, you guys know I kind of love science fiction, so it's kind of cool. Mostly what I love about this is how it's ridiculously easy to build, kind of in the tradition of QP. It's just, I mean, I just can't even say. You guys saw it for yourself. How simple is that? Super simple. Both sides, one coil. I put a 3.5 millimeter in there, but you could certainly put in a little 14-7 wrap, or you could put in, 5 wrap. You can do whatever you want, with or without claptons, plain wires. Nearly anything will fit in there. The last thing I had that would hold coils this large, happily, as an RTA, I think was the Theorem, and the Theorem was pretty bad. Didn't have good flavor. So it's pretty cool. I kind of love this thing. What do you guys think? Talk to me. A lot of y'all have some of these. JT Man, does it do that with the straight glass on it? Yes, it does. I've tried putting the straight and the crooked glass on it, and I just have trouble filling it all the time. So it's not that great for when you're driving in the car, for example. You can fill it like halfway. But for casual use or, daily use at work or whatever, I haven't had any problem with it. Like I said, the only times I've really been angry at it were when I was in the car. I've been like, "Arr!" And so I've learned now just to do it when I'm stopped. It's working great. I have it set on this. I'm sort of calibrated myself to having the cotton just be a stopper there and letting a certain amount of e-liquid in there to vaporize. I like that. The vape tastes great. Let me show you guys how the 510 adapter works, which is super great. I actually prefer it with the 510. You guys saw that I got a bunch of 510s here in the mail. I'm really glad that they used an 810 that has the O-ring on the inside, because even if you just want to use a thicker or taller 810, that works just fine. I haven't had any problem. The best kind, in my opinion, is the kind with the O-ring in the atomizer. The 810 adapter works fairly well. I like it because it's low profile and fits flush to the top. Not that many of them are that way. Look, I'll put a fancy green one on there. Fancy green. Looks good. And 510 O-rings. I mean, 510 drip tips. Why do I keep saying O-rings and drip tips? Yum. That's just great. That tiramisu is good. I'm at about 69.9 watts now. I don't need to close the air down. Gives you a nice airy nose vape. Nice taste. I get taste on the tongue. This thing's great. Pretty cool. So if you like RTAs, check out this QP Designs JuggerKnot Mini RTA. Why can't I remember the name of that? We're going to go into the hangout portion of the show here. So if you're watching on the replay, if you don't want to hang out, that's fine. The actual review part's over. And if you're watching here live, stick around. Don't go away. If you want to, stick around. Thanks everyone so much for watching this. Thanks to QP Designs for sending this thing to me to check out. We love QP Design. Don't forget to check out pretty soon here. We're going to have our best equipment of the year. My 2018 picks of the best stuff. And if you have an opinion about that, make sure that you tell me about it. Thanks to everybody new who tuned in today, like Sergio, Christopher Manis, although I think I recognize your name. Maybe you're not new. And everybody else. Love all you guys. And I hope you're having a great day. Let me just vape out. And don't forget to stick around if you want. Thank you. Hey, I forgot to press the button. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this thing's great. It's been fun. It's been a while since I had an RTA that I really felt like I could carry around, didn't leak, was bulletproof, since the Conqueror Mini, really. This thing's a great pocket RTA, doesn't leak. Only has a problem with the filling. It's my only problem with it. I imagine the full size one may not have enough problems, and I suspect it's because of the clearance between the hole and that little post inside there. There just isn't enough room in there for air to get out when all that liquid VG is inside there. Michaela's asking if I ever do Instagram Live anymore, and I actually do. I did one, not very often, I confess, but I did one right before the show here, and I'm considering doing one for the capstone while I just kind of build on it and see what's up. See you, Naki. Have a great morning. Oh, well, good, JT Munn. Looks like you got the whole show. So good morning to you. Yeah, the whole review part of it you got to see. So you're heading off for your drive. Be careful driving, sir. I tell you. Hope you guys all have a cup of caffeine. Because I do. Oh, that's yummy. It feels so decadent. Having caffeine and the delicious tiramisu in the morning. Looks like Christopher's using the Kylan Mini pretty good. Another really good one. Yeah, Kylan Mini. Nice one. Gary's going to try syringe filling. That's a good idea because you're forcing the liquid into the bottom. Am I right? Is that your idea? Is to push the liquid under the air, then push the air out? I believe in it. I thought maybe a longer, thinner filler nozzle would work, and it doesn't. So if it weren't for the fill, like puking up on me like a baby all the time, this thing would be the most amazing RTA. And, you know, it still is pretty gosh darn good. Mike Buryanek, what is that gauge I used earlier? This, my friend, is a coil gauge for building postless RDAs. So it's called the Coil Cut Base. It's from timesvape.com. And it has millimeters and tells you how long to build them. So let me show you how this works. I'll grab another coil from a random other coil. Doesn't really matter what it is. And then let's say you want to build your Cali. And your Cali has a fixed height inside there. Those are postless. Or let's say you're building on your twisted messes or whatever, or even on this guy. You can pull the coils out and put them in here. Like here's my old coil. And you can find out how long the leads are. So I can tell that those are 4.5, 3.9, just about 4 millimeters. Almost exactly. And so then, from then on, you can just always cut your coils to the right height. So it's a gauge, it's a jig. It's pretty nice. You stick your coils in there. Grab your clippers and go clip, clip, right along the back smooth edge. And they're always the same height. That one right there is 8 millimeters, and that one is 3.8. So it's a pretty cool little jig. Pretty cool little coil jig. And let me show you guys, these are the coils that I found working here. These are the RB8 heating coils. I got these from GearBest, I think. And these are made by Smock, and they're for the TFV8, and they're the perfect size for this atomizer. So I have a bunch of these. They only cost about $5 a container. They're 8 coil, 0.3. 10 of them in a little container. And so this is going to keep this RTA fueled for a long time, pretty much. And it's also a good thing to know that 1.33 millimeter coil works real well in this. So you can grab your own Clapton wire, get some from Sub-Ohm Coils, our buddy Sub-Ohm Sapper. Yeah, Mike Buryanek. Yeah, it's a really cool little jig. It lets you have the same coil every time. And so it's one of the reasons I love the Cali is that its postless design means you can always cut them the same, throw them in there, and it takes so little time. And look how little time it took us really to build this thing. It really did not take any time. Let's open it up. Here's another nice benefit of this thing, is that because of the way it's designed, kind of like the Aromomizer Supreme V2, you can open this thing up while it's full. This is a feature I like very much. Comes right out. And goes right back in. I wish there was a slightly easier on the finger bottom on this. I wish this were a little bit smoother right there, just the machining. It's a little bit harsh. But otherwise, I think it's great. It really is nice to have a gauge to be able to cut your coils. The audience is talking about that down there, the VapeAM. It's too handy. So nice to be able to know exactly where. I used to measure them with my micrometer, and it was just a pain in the ass to do that. Hey, Vape and Vixens, good morning to you. Yeah, you're a little late, it's fine. All you missed was us building and talking about the JuggerKnot Mini from QP Design. Tell me if you've heard about that. Yum. Ooh, that is good. Tiramisu. So QP Designs make something for everybody here. I'm kind of glad they don't make a clearomizer because we don't need another one of those. But they make a dual coil, larger RTA. They make the single coil. They make the best RDA that there ever was, the instant classic Cali. My baby, the Cali. And so check them out. They're great. Yum. Hey, Jeremy, how are you? Good morning to you. Better late than never. It's fine, buddy. We were just talking about how QP makes such great stuff. Canada is killing it on these RTAs and RDAs. Mike's asking if this is as good as the Cali, and I don't think it's as good as the Cali in as much as this isn't the end-all, be-all, ultimate RTA. It is tied for the top with my Aromomizer V2 Supreme. Aromomizer Supreme V2. And the only thing that keeps this from really taking the cake, in my opinion, is the fact that it is difficult to fill. I mean, besides that, this thing is absolutely amazing. I don't love the mass at the top and just the general mass of it, but it's my same complaint that I had with OBS. But this thing really is like an Aromomizer Supreme V2 and an OBS Engine 2 kind of got married, or engine got married, became this thing. So it's got some great design philosophies behind it. Hey, Dr. Dolphy, how are you, buddy? There he is playing some Pulse Bingo. That's great. Are you playing Pulse Bingo to see if I actually pulse the coils? I did not, by the way. So those of you who have that marked on your bingo card have won today. Definitely. Owen says you got the Nord. Tell me about that, buddy. Let's hear about that. I'm going to look it up as you speak. Is it the Nord vape? Or is it the Smock Nord? There it is. There aren't very many pictures. I don't want to answer questions. Fun. Cannot wait to see it. I want to see it. Dr. Dolphy is making dinner. That is nice. Sounds good. And there is a Nord from Smock, a little all-in-one kit, 1100 mAh pod system. Could be that one too. We'll see. Oh, Michaela, are your babies sick? Your puppies? Puppy dogs? Are they not feeling well? Sadie's all better now after last week before. Yum. This thing is great. I love my own builds. It's doing awesome. And as you can see, the bubbles are fantastic. So it's getting lots of juice in there, filling itself back up and stopping, and it's not coming out the top or anything. So this thing works really well. I'm going to play the fill game with it again. All right, Phil, do it. Oh, now. There's sort of a tilting game you can sort of play with it that works sometimes. Believe it or not, tilting the air bubble away from the hole helps it make better contact and get more e-liquid into the actual chamber. But again, there we go. If I push it too hard, it starts to come out the top. Try to make contact with the bubble again, and we're doing all right. But I've never been able to fully, completely, utterly, totally fill this thing, and that is a strange feeling for an atomizer. Gary said he's trying a syringe here. I'm having better luck right this very second, but still the air bubbles don't want to come through. Doesn't want to slide down through the cage. And so, there we go. I sort of give up again. Oh, Michaela says the puppies have been vomiting for a week. Oh, poor little puppies. I love them. Christopher Manis, it's about $50 US. I just saw it on the Canadian site. There's a link in the description. Click on that thing down there. And there's a Canadian postal strike, but mine was only delayed a day. So your mileage may vary. Who knows how long their strike will go on. See? And when I fill it up, I get a mouthful of e-liquid. So, but never again. So like I said, I love this thing, but filling it is kind of crazy. Mike Buryanek is asking, do I have a code with them? No, I don't. I do not. They're nice people, though. Of all the things from QP, the Cali is the very, very best thing they've got by far. It's my favorite thing. This guy I love, but that filling, I just do not understand how it always seems to get into the airflow. And it must be getting in by going in through this O-ring into the air directly. So all they need is a little bit more clearance between the wall and the front. Oh, poor puppies. Poor puppies. I feel bad for them. We all feel terrible when our puppies are sick. There's a lot of puppies here at Orbital Vaping headquarters. If you want to see some of them, click on the link to Discord in the description. Because after the show, that's where we're going to be chatting and stuff. It looks like we're coming up on our limit. I didn't realize. Yeah. Christopher Menace, have a great day. We're also going to sign out here. I hope all of you have a great day. I love you all. Thanks so much for watching Orbital Vaping Headquarters and Juicy Jones HQ and me. Michaela, I hope your puppies end up feeling better very, very soon. And like I said, I love you all. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Let's tune out. Thank you.